A single decision can break your life. I know, because I made that decision. I lost everything that mattered in one afternoon. My family, my home, my future gone, because I tried to do something good. My name is Maya. I was 17 when it happened. We weren't rich, but we were happy. My dad drove a delivery truck for a local bakery. His hands were always a little dusty with flour, and he smelled like fresh bread. He worked harder than anyone I knew. For years, he'd been saving every extra dollar. His dream was to buy his own little food truck, the Rolling Bun, so he could be his own boss. The money was kept in a big glass jar on the kitchen counter, a constant reminder of his dream. We'd all drop our change in it. It was a family dream. One Tuesday, everything changed. Dad came home early, his face pale. He'd hurt his back lifting a heavy pallet. The doctor said he needed to rest for weeks. Without work, there was no pay. The fear in my parents' eyes that night was a physical thing in our small house. The next day, my younger brother, Sam, needed new glasses. My mom's ancient washing machine finally shuttered and died. The jar of money on the counter suddenly looked very, very small. I felt helpless. I had a part-time job at a diner after school, but my paycheck was barely enough for my own bus pass and school supplies. I wanted to fix it. I needed to fix it. That's when I saw the flyer taped to a lamppost. Quick cash. Easy work. Help wanted. It was for a company called Swift Messengers. They needed people to make deliveries. The pay for one delivery was $200. That was more than I made in a week at the diner. It seemed like a miracle. I called the number. A man with a smooth voice told me it was simple. I'd pick up a package from one location and drive it across town. No questions asked. It was for a private client. My job was just to be a discreet middleman. A little warning bell went off in my head. It sounded too easy. But then I thought of my dad's tired face, of my mom counting coupons at the grocery store, of Sam squinting at his homework. I silenced the bell. This was for them. I told my parents I was picking up an extra shift. I took the family car, our old dependable station wagon. The pickup was in a quiet parking garage. A woman in a sleek black car handed me a small locked metal box. It was heavier than I expected. "Don't open it," she said, her smile not reaching her eyes. "Just take it to the address on the GPS. You'll get your cash on delivery." My heart was pounding. This felt wrong, but I was already in it. I put the box on the passenger seat and started to drive. I was 2 blocks from the delivery address when the sirens flashed behind me. My blood went cold. I pulled over, my hands shaking on the wheel. 2 police officers approached. They were polite, but firm. They said they had a tip about a car matching this description making a suspicious delivery. They asked to search the car. I was so scared I couldn't speak. I just nodded. They found the box. They pried it open right there on the sidewalk. It wasn't drugs. It was worse, in a way. It was stacks of stolen credit cards and IDs. I was a courier for a identity theft ring. I was arrested. I spent the most terrifying night of my life in a juvenile detention center, crying until I had no tears left. My parents had to use the money from the rolling bun jar to pay a lawyer to get me out. The shame was unbearable. The look on my dad's face, a mix of betrayal, fear, and utter disappointment, will haunt me forever. He didn't yell. He just looked at me and said, "Maya, how could you be so foolish?" The legal fees drained the jar completely. The dream of the food truck was gone. My mistake hadn't just been stupid, it had stolen my father's future. A week later, I came home from a meeting with my probation officer. My suitcase was packed and sitting by the front door. My mom was crying. "It's for the best, Maya," she whispered, unable to look at me. "The stress. It's too much for your father. His health. We can't have this chaos here." My dad stood behind her, his arms crossed, his jaw set. He didn't say a word. Sam was hiding in his room. I was being thrown out. My own family was abandoning me because of one stupid, terrible mistake. I took the suitcase. I had nowhere to go. I called the only person I could think of, my friend Chloe from the diner. Her family let me sleep on their couch for a few nights, but it was crowded and I couldn't stay long. I was utterly alone. I had my suitcase, a little bit of cash, and a crushing weight of guilt. I found a room for rent in a rundown house with strangers. It was cheap, but it was all I could afford. I quit school to work full-time at the diner. The work was hard and the pay was low, but it was honest. I clung to that. Every day was a struggle. I was lonely and scared. But with every plate I washed, every table I served, I was paying a different kind of debt. I was proving to myself that I could work hard, that I could be honest. One day, an elderly regular at the diner, Mrs. Gable, was struggling to carry her groceries home. I offered to help her. She lived a few blocks away in a little house with a wild, overgrown garden. After that, I started helping her every week. She was kind and sharp and didn't ask questions about my past. She just needed help. In helping her, I started to heal. She paid me in homemade cookies and wisdom. "The world breaks everyone, Maya," she said one afternoon. "But afterward, many are strong at the broken places." I started to get stronger. I got a second job cleaning offices at night. I saved every penny. I had a new dream now, not to get rich, but to get whole, to pay back the money I cost my dad. It took me 3 years of relentless work. 3 years of blistered feet from waitressing, of sore muscles from scrubbing floors, of quiet loneliness in my small room. I spent nothing on myself. Every dollar had a purpose. Finally, I had it. The exact amount that had been in the jar, plus a little more for the interest my dad would have lost. I dressed in my best clothes, a simple, clean dress I'd bought at a thrift store. I walked to my parents' house, my heart pounding just like it had the day I got arrested. I knocked on the door. My mom answered. She looked older, and her eyes filled with immediate tears when she saw me. "Maya," she breathed. "Hi, Mom. Is Dad here?" He came to the door. He looked tired. The anger was gone from his face, replaced by a deep sadness. "I came to give you this," I said, my voice trembling. I held out a bank envelope. "It's for the food truck. It's all there." He took the envelope, confused. He opened it and saw the cash. His eyes widened. "How?" he started to ask. "I worked," I said simply. "I worked every day for 3 years. I'm so sorry, Dad. I was stupid and naive and I wanted to help. I destroyed your dream, and I will regret it for the rest of my life. This is me trying to make it right." Tears were streaming down my mom's face. My dad's hands were shaking. He didn't care about the money. He was looking at me. Really looking at me for the first time in years. He saw the calluses on my hands from washing dishes. He saw the tiredness in my eyes from years of double shifts. He saw the woman I had become, not the foolish girl I had been. He dropped the envelope on the hallway table and pulled me into a hug. A great, big, bear hug that smelled like flour and home. "I'm sorry, too," he said, his voice rough with emotion. "We never should have let you go. We were scared and ashamed, but that was no excuse. You're our daughter." That was the moment the silence ended. The long, cold silence that had started in that police car was finally broken. I started visiting every week. Things were awkward at first, but we were trying. I learned that while I was gone, things had been hard. Dad's back never fully recovered, and he was stuck in a desk job he hated. Sam had gotten in with a bad crowd for a while. My mistake had sent ripples through their lives, too. But now, we could talk about it. We could heal together. One Sunday, over dinner, I had an idea. "Dad," I said, "what about the food truck?" He sighed. "Ah, honey, that dream is long gone. The money's better spent on other things." "I wasn't thinking about the money," I said. "I was thinking about the dream. What if we did it together? I've managed budgets at the diner. I know about suppliers. You have the best recipes in the world. We could be partners." Hope, a fragile little thing, flickered in his eyes. "You'd want to do that?" "More than anything." We used the money I gave him, not to buy a truck, but as a down payment. We found a used, but perfect, food truck. We spent weekends fixing it up, painting it a cheerful blue and yellow. We called it the Second Rise, a name we both liked. I worked my shifts, and then worked on the truck. It was exhausting, but it was a happy tired. The day we opened for business, we were terrified. We parked near a busy office park. My mom and Sam came to help. And people came. They loved my dad's sandwiches and pastries. They loved the story of a father and daughter team. Within months, we were a success. It was harder than I ever imagined, but it was ours. I didn't just get my family back. I helped build us a new dream, one that was stronger because it was forged in forgiveness and hard work. The jar on the counter is back, but now it's for Sam's college fund. And every time I drop a coin in, I remember that even the biggest mistakes don't have to define you. They can just be the painful beginning of a better story.